Is this better? I needed to turn everything on. I appreciate everyone's patience. Hello, Olympia. Hello, Katie. Hello, everyone who's joining. I'm really excited for this. I would love it if you introduced yourself in the chat. Hello, welcome. I'm glad you can hear me. If there are any other accessibility requests besides being able to hear me, please let me know. I would love to figure out how to do captions on here, but this is my first live stream ever, so I'm really, really excited. Hello, Kat. I am also Tamora Pierce. It's everything. I'm so glad everyone is here. Yes. Yay for first times. So it's really exciting. It is also my birthday. And so this is the most exciting thing I could think about doing for my birthday, is having a Tamora Pierce book club. Thank you all. TikTok is sending me lots of things. Fantastic. I'm going to wait one more minute. Millennial Bookworm from Louisiana. Circle of Magic got me into fan. And thank you, Olympia. Perfect. I'm so glad that you're here. I am also a Millennial Bookworm. Hello. Hi, Jeremy. Welcome. I'm also so excited. Is that Deidre? Did I pronounce that correctly? I'm so excited that there are so many other people here who love Tamora Pierce. Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm so excited that people are here. I'm going to get started a little bit. As I've said before, this is my first time ever doing a live stream of any sort. Hi, my name is B. Hello. I don't think I've said that too often in any of my Tamora Pierce videos. But I'm a former bookseller. I'm a millennial bookworm. I'm 34 today. I used to work at the big box store, but I've had so many jobs in my life, and would just dream to be able to do my favorite thing. And so I'm so excited everyone's here. I can't believe I finished this. And I can't believe this wasn't part of my continual rereads. I am a Tamora Pierce lover, as you can tell. This is my favorite shelf, full of everything. And Tortall has been my home. Tortall has been my home for years. I first started reading Tamora Pierce when I was around 11 years old. Thank you, Murphy. I was just enchanted, and I haven't stopped, haven't looked back since. I reread Tortall about every year, if not every other year. And so once I started posting about Tamora Pierce online and could not imagine the response that I received, we're past due for some Circle of Magic love. I can't believe it took me this long. So here's kind of what I'm thinking for today. I have a little overview. We can stay informal. We can hang out. I even put together a visual if needed. I'm a both and person. And so today we are going to be talking about Tamora Pierce and Sandry's book, From Circle of Magic. I want to hear from people the whole time in the chat. I will do my best to try to read everything out loud and respond. Again, I appreciate your patience. This is my first time around doing a live of any sort, and I'm so excited to get started. Oh, that's a really good question from Olympia about what recommendations we should have read from Tamora Pierce. I will always go for Alana the Lioness, but that's only because I haven't reread these in a long time. But I just, after finishing Sandry's book, I cannot wait for the rest of these, and I think these may end up on a frequent reread list as well. And so welcome all. Hello. There's so many of you here. Hello. If you would love to introduce yourself in the chat. We have lots of people who also love Tamora Pierce here. And so I want to hear from you. Please throw things in. I'm going to be just talking about Sandry's book And this is to keep me on track as much as it is you, because I realize you can't even see this. We will try again, something different next time around. Oh, listening to the Trickster series. Hello, Brittany. Hello, Katie. I love that there are so many people here. So I have the first couple of things. I thought I could do an introduction. I did a little bit of one. But if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I really love books. I started this account because I was reading so many books and I needed a place to put them and to talk about them. Terrier's a great start. Circle is an introduction, a yearly reread. So many people reread these books. See, have I ever read Melting Stones? It is part of Briar's. I read them, but it has been since they came out. I haven't touched many of these of the Circle of Magic books since they initially came out. And then I had a house fire years ago and I lost all of my Tamora Pierce books. And so I've been building the books back up since then. And I just never got around to getting Circle of Magic until now. I'm so happy these books are getting the love they deserve too. This is it. I was so tired of my For You page being the same 6 books over and over and over again. And there's just so much material with Tamora Pierce's books. So I'm stoked that we get to do these fresh, to let you all know I don't remember most of it. So it feels brand new to me. There are moments where I'm like, oh, I remember that, or oh, I think this unfolds in this way or is very important in a couple of books, but it's been exciting to read these anew. I love everything that's going on at the chat. Melting Stones. I have right here. It's the newer-ish copies. I'm excited to get to these. But first, I know I have to make it through. Next, we have Triss. Will of the Empress. We also have that back there. Oh, Solaris, your fiance's reading Alana's story for the first time, and it's been so awesome to hear her thoughts. That's fantastic. What a great bonding way. There have been a lot of people who have said that. I even saw a comment that said that they knew their partner because they had read these books before. Let's see. So again, I want to reiterate, if there are things that are inaccessible, please let me know. Inclusion starts with accessibility, and I feel like Tammy sets a really good tone here about inclusion, and so this is a space, a brave space. Lean in if there are uncomfortable things. We're not all going to agree, and that's fine. I love discourse. I love respectful discourse. And just a personal request to try not to spoil any huge scenes or big reveals. And I only say, and if you do, that's fine. These books are pushing 30 years old at this point. And so there's no way this is going to be a spoiler-free zone. But as I said earlier, I am coming at it with fresher eyes than I have for a very long time. And so I want to dive in. If you are all ready to dive in. Let me see if there are other comments that I missed. I love all this discussion around what book particular things happen in. Katie, you're homeschooling your daughter and doing the Alana series as part of school. That's amazing. That is so amazing. That's a perfect thing. I would love to see a curriculum built around Tamora Pierce, the way that they do Tolkien or even Buffy. They have lots of curriculums around Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I think Alana and Tamora Pierce have a lot to teach us. Sandry's book. I'm so excited to talk about it. This, I think, was a really good introduction for me. My first impression was that it was the first pages, I thought we were going to be in for a very dark story. I thought Sandry, when he found her, I thought this was a shift, a huge shift in some of Tamora Pierce's writing, but then it really pulled back. And you see there are darker glimpses of it, but I thought that this was a really good, it was more cozy and a good introduction to everyone. The world building I thought was phenomenal. I spent the first couple of chapters worried that I would compare it to Tortall. I would just keep thinking about Tortall, the places I envisioned, even the map. I spent a good time looking at the map. I love a map. Tamora Pierce does one thing that I don't see very often anymore. A legend. Hardly see these in book maps anymore. I want to know what's happening in my map. Very important. So that was a really good start. We have, some themes are already pulling out. Found family. Yes, her maps are chef's kiss. Found family. That's one of the biggest things that I pulled out of this, is that there's found family, but I think it transforms into a forged family. I anticipate some struggles and trials, and I think this book was about weaving family together. I think, is it Daja's book? I apologize, I have not listened to any of the audio yet. I meant to do that before today, but I did not get a chance to do it, and so I will mispronounce everyone's name. I'll do it, I promise. But Daja's book, I feel like there will be foraging family together. This one's weaving family together. This book is why I learned how to weave and spin. I love it. I can see how this book would lead to being really curious about thread work. I'm excited to see how it unfolds. You see some of the thread work in Alana, the third book in that series as well. And I am so interested in the connection of power and weaving. I thought Tamora Pierce does a really good job of taking what's been seen as women's work and turning it into a source of power and pride. And I think that's a really good example. There are tons of people who learn how to spin and do threadworks, crochet and embroidery because of this book. I pulled out my embroidery because of this book as well. It's inspirational. There are other themes. The found family is a huge theme throughout here. I also think self-discovery is a huge theme throughout the whole book. And of course, that's just their ages. But then I think it's that idea of growing up, settling, becoming, finding a place where you belong. And he didn't get heat for it. Yes! I loved the gender is played with a lot in Tamora Pierce's books. You're all bouncing, sorry. I'm really curious to see Briar's story unfold. One of the tabs that I have that these are all scenes or lines that I felt very moved by. And one of the first scenes where it happened was Briar choosing his name. And the reasons why. Yes, I love that none of them are stuck in the boxes that they're born into. I adore these kids. Oh, I liked my own life. That's fun. None of them are stuck into the boxes that they're born into, and then they are able to choose their own path. This one is really about weaving their own future. I can't wait to get back to Sandry. I think she is one of my favorite characters. At this point, when I was younger, I think I really would have liked Triss. But at this point, I really like Sandry. This first scene, though, that I really loved was the one with Briar, where he chooses his name. Briar saved in your head for a future son. I think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous name. I think there are multiple meanings, and I think we'll see the name Briar come out in future books. Lots of thorns and carrying your past. Names are powerful. And so to see a character choose a name, shed a past, choose a new future, absolutely phenomenal. The class differences. Who mentioned? There are so many great comments. I'm so excited. Yes. Okay, so Harper mentioned how she played with class differences, and that is one of the points that I would love to bring up and talk about and hear from other people is the power and privilege in this book. I think Sandry in particular, her character, I think a lot about privilege with her character and how she wields her privilege, how she stands in her privilege, how she uses it to protect her friends. And I think now in the universe is a really good time to think about ways that shows up in real life. So her using power and privilege, particularly with class, but there's also racial dynamics, there's immigration dynamics. She truly has it all. I thank you all for the gifts and the hearts, fan clubs. This is my first time ever doing a live. This is my first time ever going live for anything, and so I'm still figuring out how everything works. And I'm just excited there are so many people who want to hang out and talk about Tamora Pierce and Sandry. This book one has been amazing. One of the quotes that I pulled out that I absolutely love, there are a couple that I wanted to bring up, but okay, this one, we were talking about privilege and power. One of the quotes that I really love, this is happening when Triss is learning about her lightning. So I'm on page 130 for this edition. And Triss is really learning about her lightning. She's with Nico. Love Nico, by the way. And the house mothers. I won't go on a tangent right now. But the quote that I pulled out from this page that I absolutely love is that never forget, all power must go somewhere once there's enough of it. I had to put the book down for a minute. It applies to so many things. We check in here. Yes, Sandry does acknowledge that she has privilege. She does explore her class. Yes, I think it's so delicately done. And when I say delicately, I mean another scene that I pulled out is a brawl in a market. Delicate with some fists, and delicate with a cane, and delicate with a water spout. I think it's approached in so many different ways in this book. The market, I loved the market brawl. The market brawl was a really phenomenal moment for me. I think Sandry, every time she really wields her power and privilege and I say that interchangeably with her power. I think there's such an interesting connection between power and privilege and the magical power, not just societal power, but magical power, how those are all connected. Oh, puppy's name. The puppy, it just escaped me. In the chat, who do we have? The puppy, Little Bear, the puppy, I think. Yes, the market brawl really made me feel for Triss learning. Absolutely. One thing I'm really interested with Triss's story is that she's scared of her power. Her power is huge and all-encompassing, and I'm really curious to see how that ends up working, how she ends up working through that. I think that combination of power and past trauma and being really truly afraid of yourself and afraid of your power is something we see a lot of in current fantasy novels, but we all know Tamora Pierce was writing well before her time, and I'm really curious to see how it plays out in a young Triss. Ooh, Harper, that's a great question. One of your favorite things to imagine is what kind of magic you would have if you had ambient magic. What kind of magic do you think you would have? I'm very curious. And yes, Jeremy, the issue of Sandry's power being lower class work is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating, because I think there's gender dynamics involved as well. class and gender. Cooking, that's brilliant. Cooking magic would be really good. I think some sort of communication magic might be interesting. Yes, Summer or Samry. Yes, something to do with stories or words. I agree. Like, I think there's some sort of communication piece. It would be interesting to try to understand languages. Those would be fascinating. Let's see. Some of my other favorite parts that came out in this, all power. Oh, the idea of magic. Since we're talking about magic anyway, the idea and magic system in here is very different-ish than in Tortall. I'm still trying to figure out, still learning the differences at this point, but it goes a little bit deeper, I think, at this juncture. Let's see. Ray! Hydrologist, water. Yeah, Sandry does a really good job of bridging the class divide. Writing or performance, that would be such an interesting magic to have too. Very, very wealthy, stories of words. Reading and learning. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, her fine embroidery, Sandry's fine embroidery was far too much. I really liked this line from Nico when they're learning about meditation. I think this was brought up a couple of times in comments on some of my other videos about how Tamora Pierce books were some of the first times that you learn how to meditate. And that was the same for me as well. And so this happens, the line that I love by Nico that talks about magic goes back to the scene where they're first learning how to meditate. It's on 114 that I have. And Nico says, "Today we sacrifice comfort for security. Every creature has magic, even if it's just the magic of life." And I'm excited to see how that unfolds in the magic system over this next several books. Let's see. Weather magic is such a good one. It seems a little terrifying though for Triss. I have not read Triss's book in forever, and so I don't know the intricacies of her magic at this point, but I can imagine it's just overwhelming, especially the way, if you've read Numer's Chronicles, Tempest and Slaughter, there's a lot to do with lightning in magic in some of those scenes, and so the way that Tamora Pierce really richly writes them, I'm very excited to see how she writes storms in relationship to Triss. So I think that weather would be phenomenal, but also a little scary. Reading whatever you want. Magic. Oh, okay, so good. Harper says that the magic system is much more defined in this universe. Okay, so there's not as much of an emphasis on gods in the Circle of Magic books. I almost started taking notes for some of them. It seemed like I felt like at this point in the Tortall books, I did have a firmer grasp on the gods and their place in the realm than I do in Circle of Magic, but I feel like I have a little bit more of a grasp on magic in this realm than I did at this same point in the Tortall books. Okay, they might come out in later books. Well, welcome. I don't know what times in we're all in. More of the characters. I'm really curious to hear from you all first of all, out of the 4 main ones that we have, which ones are your favorites / do you relate to the most? I'm excited to see them grow. At this point, I think I really like Sandry, but that might just be because this was her book. I didn't think that we got as much of her as I wanted, mostly because we had to gather the troops together. We had to introduce everybody, we had to introduce the world, and I think that left not enough time to really flesh out some of Sandry, but that could also just be that I really liked her and I want to see more of her. Yes, they're really good points in the comments. They do. Alana did not really, she did not even want to understand any of her magic. She said, no, thank you, that's Tom's. My twin can do that. I did think it was a very strange choice to make the big reveal that, oh, you all actually have magic towards the end. Everybody was doing very magical things. And so that was one of my few moments of suspended disbelief. It was like, oh, but you all talking, you're in a magical place. Just didn't, I thought it would happen sooner in this story. Yes, okay. Yeah, the faithless and push to the kids. I really liked how they were encouraged to keep parts of themselves. And so I was really moved by the scene when it was Daja changed out of her mourning clothes. And the house mothers love the house mothers. Absolutely love the house mothers. Lark and Thorn, right? No, Thorn, what is her? Rose Thorn. Lark and Rose Thorn. Absolutely love them. Best characters in here. But when Daja was mourning, when she finished mourning and still was able to take pieces of herself, I think that Tamora Pierce does a really good job of integrating people as they are. And creating something new from that. Fantastic. Thank you for the gift. The house mothers teach. Oh, would love to have learned more about them. The ambient magic breaks all sorts of rules. Oh, I need to learn the rules before I can learn how to break them. Absolutely. Xander, you need to try this series again. I agree with you. It did not capture me the same way that Alana did. And I'm in a different place in my life now than I was when I first started reading these. And I think that has made a huge difference in going back and reading them, knowing what they are. Like, I am not expecting a spicy rofantasy. It's not going to happen. That's not what I'm going into with this. But knowing that this is the first of a really long and in-depth saga gets me really excited, because this felt like just a chapter in an overall larger story. And so now that I've had just a little bite, I want to dig in. Fantastic. I love how active everyone is in the chat. This makes me very excited. I'm so happy so many people are here to talk about Tamora Pierce. Okay. So others, Tamora, you're the reverse. You just got in to these books, but not really into Alana. I'm so curious what that difference is. The Song of a Lioness did start out as a more adult story and then was split into four stories. Tamora Pierce just gave an interview last week, or I don't know when it was filmed, but she gave an interview that came out last week where she talked more about that and really talked about the group home that she was working at the time, and how those stories and working there really influenced the editing in particular of that book. And she talked a lot about how girls need stories that aren't all about the modern day, whatever that modern day is expectation of what a girl should be. And she talked about how those stories, Alana really reflected more of the experiences that the girls in the group home had. And so I'd really, really be curious to learn more about her inspiration for Circle of Magic. If anyone has any ideas or knows of an interview that she did that can give me more insight, I would love, love, love to see that. I love that there are so many people who love the Circle of Magic series, because it was not one that I got into when I was younger, and I wish I did. Oh, the circle opens a little more. Okay. I have some of the circle opens, but I gotta get through these first. Becca, these are great. She did a short story about her at the group home. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. The audiobooks. Okay. The audiobooks, I love the audiobooks for Tortall. I have not done the audiobooks for Circle of Magic yet, but I would absolutely love to. Oh, perfect. Brittany, you were a library assistant. Oh, that's fantastic. Reintroduced to these. I'm so excited that there are so many people who are ready for some more Circle of Magic. Again, like, the Found family was fantastic in this. I love all of the characters. I just realized there are 2 maps in this book. One on each cover. This is how books should be made. This is the paperback of my dreams. Tortall and Other Stories. Was it in Tortall and Other Stories? I don't know. I do have Tortall and Other Stories. It has one of my favorites in here. It is an excellent use of the end of pages. So many books are missing good maps. Good maps these days. Before I started posting about Tamora Pierce, I had a thought to do a series dissecting different fantasy maps and critiquing them, because I have a lot to say about fantasy maps. But Emmeline, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. I thank you for the gift. I have Emmeline. I'm assuming that since we have a full map with lots of other places to go, we will get there in the other books. I'm really hopeful. Are you learning how to design fantasy maps? That's incredible. I would love to do the series. I have a whole list of some that I pulled out from terrible examples, like Fourth Wing, terrible example. All the way through. I think these are really good examples of maps. I also, if you know the Kells map in Lady Night, I really like the diagram of New Haven. I think it's New Haven that's in there. Circle opens. You don't have money to pay for an artist, so you just learn it yourself. And they do end up traveling good. I was really excited to see that there's a massive world for us to explore. And so what I'm assuming happens is we're at this really microscopic view right now where we're being introduced to the characters, and then it really just expands and grows. If I remember correctly, the characters all kind of go off and do their own thing, but then come back together again. And I don't remember how old they are in the later books, but they're fairly young in these. I think some of them were saying like 11. And so I'm excited to see them grow up. These weren't the ones to grow up in. The map interior is great too. Ooh, okay. Yes, the map interior is great, and so is the map in Bloodhound. I really liked the one in Bloodhound. I used that recently. 16 through 18. Thank you, Brittany. I appreciate that. Oh, the circle opens about travel. It opens. I love it. Okay. 10, then 14, then 18. Okay. Middle of 18, circle opens. We only got 2. Yeah, we only got 2 Trickster books. I was disappointed-ish in that until I read Nawat's chapter in the Tortall and Other Lands. I really liked that chapter a lot. And to be very honest with you, Trickster, the first time I read Trickster, it wasn't my favorite, but I ended up absolutely loving the Trickster duology. Lizard Link for fantasy maps. Oh, they did a great series on realistic fantasy maps. I will have to check that out. I'm taking notes. Great. Is the testing? Oh, okay. I did not know that. Dove as a spinoff. That would be a great idea. 2 rereads for like Trickster. We have Circle. Let me see what else. See, at one point, I did have bullet points, thoughts, agendas. We have Self-Discovery, Power and Privilege, Forged Family is another fantastic one. Overall impressions of the book, the world, the characters. I'm really excited to watch them grow together. I love this map discussion. Yes, there was a hard shift in the Tricksters for me when Allie was sold into slavery. I was like, this is a much darker book than I was expecting. And I thought Circle of Magic was going to be that way too. Does it get darker as they get older? Oh, I love Dane's series. Oh. Okay, so Jeremy says it does get darker. And you love the time. It's been a while since, it's been 2 decades at least since I've read these. Okay, Briar's book. I've heard a lot of really interesting things about Briar's book. Book mature. Okay, good. I'm glad that the books do mature with them. Okay, and the Darker the Next series. Oh, Briar's book. Ooh. I'm really excited to learn more about Briar. I think Briar has a lot of maturing to do. Like Melting Stones. Okay. Okay, different cultures. That's one thing that I really liked about Tamora Pierce is that she tries to include other cultures in it. Briar seems to always be having a rough time. Question though, Briar seems like he makes a lot of his own rough times. Please, yes, nobody spoil Briar's book if there is a big one in it, because I don't remember. I remember being a little heartbroken, I think, for Briar's book. Battle Magic, yes. Battle Magic I read out of order. I didn't realize it was a Circle of Magic book, and I thought it was a one-off, and so I read it completely out of order, had no idea what was happening. Oh, Battle Magic is the one you haven't read yet. I am excited to read it, as I should be in the series. Oh, is there a side character from Tortall I would like to see a full story on? There are a lot. My first thought was to Sergeant Bury. In the Queen's Riders, I really love Thayet. I would love to learn more about Thayet's childhood. I think would be really interesting. Or I think like a short story about Cloud before he met Dane's family would be really interesting. Side characters. Yes. Okay, so looking back at it as an adult, Jeremy, it's wild how some of those themes are covered. It is. This is a very odd connection to make, but I think about Avatar: The Last Airbender when it comes to addressing themes at kind of this age group that are deeper and heavier than you might expect. Mature. Okay. Yes. Tamora Pierce does really well with main characters. Briar's no exception. I'm excited for that. Okay, Briar may break expectations. That's good. Briar has a lot of growing. There was a lot of him talking about girls and how girls do things, which is just a funny one for me. And I can't wait because I know Tamora Pierce is going to, like, there's a character arc coming. Perfect. Oh, this is so great. Oh, a Roger prequel. Oh, that's a great idea. That's a really great idea. I would love that. Queen Rider story. I would love, love, love a Queen Rider story. Bury. Yes. Yes. I completely agree that Tamora Pierce does really well at addressing trauma because it doesn't have an age requirement. I also agree that in the series, it was really great that they call children kids. Tamora Pierce does a really interesting things with language. You see it much more so in Terrier and Becca Cooper's story, but there are bits and pieces of it here. Sorry, after she leaves, I agree. Oh, thank you. Okay. I'm glad that Avatar: The Last Airbender is a decent comparison. The arcs are arcing. I'm hoping the arcs arc. I know Briar at the end. He's gonna be my champion. I can feel it. Okay, beautiful arc. I'm so excited. A book all about George's shenanigans. That would be amazing. That would be so great. All of his. I wonder how much he traveled. Oh, Neil and Yuki. That's a really good suggestion. A book on Lark. I absolutely adore Lark. I think in the notes that I took for today, I wrote that I loved the house mothers, and Lark and Rosethorn like 20 times. They're fantastic. Daja keeps speaking the traitor talk. Yes, that's such an important part in here. I loved it when she confronted Triss and just said, everyone else does it. Why can't you? The circus background of Lark. Yes, that was one of my favorite moments when she just cartwheeled away. Oh, talk about rich, deep, nuanced characters. Tamora Pierce does such an incredible job at making fun characters that have a really great backstory. More on Nestor. Ooh, Nestor, I agree. Who else do I think? These are perfect. I love all these suggestions. I am willing to bet there are fanfics out there for some of these, at the very least. Rosa's background. There are a lot of people I'm sure I have not met yet. That will be fantastic. Out of the first book, or I guess in like the main places overall, if it doesn't spoil anything, are there any locations that you wish you could see in real life instead of having to imagine? I think I have such a vivid mental image of Discipline Cottage in my head and them on top of this roof. But I'm curious to know if there are other settings in this world that Tamora Pierce has built that you would want to go visit. Okay, the fanfics aren't great for Tortall. That just means we need to write them. Novella of Rosethorn. Oh, and Dedicate. Yes, that's such a good idea. I need to know why are they so tense together? Pirates, yes, Pirate Swoop that would be my number. I would love to go to Pirate Swoop. I would love to go to the Dancing Dove. I have tons of places in Tortall. I'm gathering ideas because I would love to do a series about places I would love to visit. But I just know Tortall and that entire universe like the back of my hand. And so I'm really curious for Emmeline. I need to listen to the audio before I make a fool of myself. All of the different places. The glitter badge. Thank you. Scythe, let's see. Myth. Ooh, and ice skate on it. Okay, the Sith and ice skate on it. I don't know if I've come to that yet. Oh, okay. The Emmeline and Discipline Cottage remind you of the coast. South Carolina and coast. Oh, yeah, shameless fanfic plug. There's no shame here. Updated in I Am Stone over on AO3. Everybody go to AO3. We love AO3 here. Love AO3 here. The Winter Country Daja visits in her book. Oh, okay. I'm so excited for that. Shatterglass, M. Elaine. Thank you, Harper. Thank you. M. Elaine. I'll get it. I need to hear it. I'm going to Google immediately after this. The Room Beneath the Hub Tower. Ooh. Yes. Yes, now that I'm thinking of it. It would be a really good one. I am really influenced by covers, and so for a lot of these are kind of what and who I picture while I'm reading. And so any of the other ones. New Hope series by Breckety Jack on AO3. Okay. I will definitely check those out. There's no shame in fan fiction. We love fan fiction. Synthis and Daja's book. Okay. And Willem Empress. Norman. Okay. I'm very excited for these. I cannot wait for Triss, the next one, to come up. I read incredibly quickly, and so if we were to do this again, would other people want to come join? I can do, let's talk a little bit about what's next. I only really planned for an hour-ish today. I can, of course, keep going. I love talking about Tortall, but I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing a little bit. This is my first one, so I appreciate everyone being so patient with me. I would love to do another one of these. It seems like we would love a place for all things Tamora Pierce, and so I'd be curious to know from everyone if you want more focused, like a book club, or if you want to do some live streams where we just talk about Tamora Pierce as a whole, or just any ideas. I'm really open. This has been so much fun so far, and I would love to do it again. I have so many thoughts and ideas. I would just love to have people to talk to about these books as I'm going through them. So yes, homework. I don't want to give anybody homework. And also, if you have any questions for me, I don't mind answering any questions. Ooh, an extension of Story for Kells. Thank you. I'm trying. It's so easy to do great when it's something I love talking about, and there's clearly an awesome community who wants to talk about Tortall and all things Tamora Pierce and in Milan. I'll get it. Check it out. Yes. Let's go book by book. Okay. Perfect. All right, Brittany, send it over, please. Okay, talk about Triss's book. Okay, so there's some excitement to talk book by book. I'm excited for it. Would you be interested in doing more of the same, where we do talk about the books, but it's still open if people have questions or thoughts or ideas, or of course if we connect it to other Tamora Pierce books, to bring those in. What do we think? How often do we want to do this? Okay, I like the differentiations. I would even be open to doing something where it's a half and half, where half the time we do really try to stick to talking about the book of the moment, Circle of Magic, and then having a section of it open to just talking about Tamora Pierce and Tortall, because I agree. I like bouncing back and forth between all of them, but I want to make sure that people come for what they're... I would just want to know what they would be showing up to do. I'm happy to do it. Great. Half and half. Okay. More prepared with questions for a specific book. That's a good idea. I mean, I think it would be fun. What do we think about next week? Does this time work? Because I'm enjoying this. This is great for me. I think we can read Triss's book. A lot of people are rereading the books. I'm one of the few people who will be actually reading it before the next time. But do we think rereading Triss's book or reading it before next week, or do we need more time? Yes. Oh, so much excitement. I love this. Y'all are making this a wonderful birthday. When I started this, because again, this is my first one ever, I was prepared for 0 people, and I was going to be happy if 10 showed up through the whole thing. And this has just been, like everything else so far, just overwhelmed with how excited and warm and welcoming people have been. So just thank you all so much for being here and really making this. This has been so much fun. Okay. Let's do next week. We can prepare. Yes, please prepare questions or thoughts or ideas. There was something I trust in me. I'm coming back to it. All right. Oh, you met Tamora Pierce. That's amazing. Tamora Pierce, we all came out of the woodwork. I had almost 100 at one point. What? That is wild. I know. No, don't be so silly. Okay. That's wild. Okay. All your books are next time. Specific book. Okay. A week is good. Okay, so next week. Oh, you're just ahead of the game. I love that. Oh, perfect. I'm so excited there are so many people here. We won't skip Briar. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, my favorite thing about Sandry. That's what it was. My favorite thing about Sandry is how she wields power. I think that sometimes when characters are written, when they come from privilege, they are really whiny, and it takes them almost the whole book to figure out that they're from a different class and that their experiences are different than everyone around them. And I thought Sandry caught on really quickly and adjusted her behavior over and over and over again. I think she has a really deep sense of privilege and power, and I think we'll see that trip up, and I think it'll be something that she continually has to wrestle with. But the way that she wields it in this book, I really, really loved it. Particularly, I forgot who it was. I think it was with Briar. There was a moment where it's being like clearly communicated, I don't want to talk to you. And she's like, oh no, this is a moment where I'm going to wield my power in such a way that I am going to uplift you. I'm completely forgetting the moment, but she does. She wields her power in ways that I don't see a lot of characters in her position doing. And so that's really one of my favorite parts about her, is just it's well-written privilege. Because she is, like, she's still, like, princessy, but not whiny princessy up in the clouds. So I really liked that about her. I'm so glad that you're ahead of the game. You've read them all. Stitch Witch is a very unique set. Yes, domestic work being privileged. It does seem like Triss has more trouble with Sandry's nobility than Sandry did in this book. I'm interested to see how that unfolds. But I do think that Sandry, she even, after confronting her great uncle, was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I know I put you in a weird spot right there. So she's so self-aware of it. From all of her travel with her parents, yes. And Triss, I really would have loved Triss when I was younger. I can't wait to read her book, but I really, the arc, that story arc, I can sense it. I am a little sad that she's not, I would not consider this a fat character. And that is, it seems like something that she is going to be identified as in many of these. And so I was sad to see that on her book, but that just means we're going to have to do some fan art. See some Triss fan art. Oh, Triss anger. I love an angry main character. I love an angry main character. Oh, an angsty teen. Oh, yes. This is perfect. Oh, yeah. I'm all in. Okay, so this is perfect. Triss seems exactly like the main character that I get really excited about. I love, Alana is my favorite. I love just the simmering rage at all times. Oh, and Triss is never angry without. I like that too. That's mark of somebody who's well written. And the depiction is, yeah. I can't wait to dive into fan art. I'm gonna wait until I'm done with at least the first 4, the Circle of Magic, before I really dive into the fan art, just in case things spoil it. I don't want to have too many spoilers. And so, yeah, these stood out. I really love these fan arts. Oh, favorite Alana sweetheart, George. We love George. She needs to be, she's supposed to be with George, but it's good that she was with everybody else. It was good that she had her journey. But I do believe that she ended up with the right person. Oh, you're like the Shang Master. But he was afraid of her magic. Not when she had finally, like, come into her own in her magic. No. But I love that Tamora Pierce even had her with her endgame and then said, you know what? She's going to go on the road for a little bit. Maybe meet a little Shang Master. I can't wait to talk about Tortal. Once we get through Circle of Magic, if you are all still here when we get through the Circle of Magic, all of the Circle of Magic books, I'm not giving up. We're going all the way through the Circle of Magic books. Then I would love more than anything to do like a book club reread of Alana the Lioness. I think that just all of Tortal, because that's my heart and soul. And so, yes, physical copies of the books, I cannot recommend thrift stores enough. Thrift stores, thrift books, friends, pass them around. You can also get them online. I think Circle of Magic is out of print, and so it's not something you can get on Amazon, which there are plenty of local bookstores that love you and will ship to you. The thrifting, it's great. Oh, Becca for sure. I do love that Alana didn't marry Jonathan. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. She had to fall in love with herself so she could understand George. And that is so true. Absolutely true. Thrift books. Thriftbooks.com, I think it is. Yes. And the audio. The audio is... I've only heard the audio for Tortal, and it is absolutely incredible. In the full cast. I really like the full cast. I've done the not full cast too, and that was fine. But definitely, if you like full casts, do the full cast. Yeah, she did look at Jonathan when no one wants me to be queen. She also didn't want to be queen. She didn't want to be a lady. That's her whole, this is where we start with her story, is her saying, I don't want that life. And so having the life that is that, it wouldn't work for her. So I think it was so brilliantly done. I love the fact that Alana brought Jonathan his queen. She was on the other end of the world and said, you know what? You should meet my ex. And that's a girl's girl right there. I love it. Perfect. So we're going to get our books. We're going to do Triss's book next week. I agree. She would have been perfectly fine with George without a noble, but he needs a happy ending too. Let's do Circle of Magic, book 2, Triss's book next week. We're gonna pick up where we left off. I'll come with some ideas, some overall impressions, some themes to talk about, probably some quotes or scenes, but I really would love everybody else's questions, your thoughts, please, any quotes or ideas. Yes, we have 2 dogs. Maybe they'll make an appearance next time around. I have a large one and a small one, a horse and the other one. I'm so thankful that everyone joined today. This has been a really great birthday present. I am so excited that there are so many other people who love Tamora Pierce as much as I do. I can't thank you all enough for reading Sandry's book. I do have my own little bear. I do. I'll bring Little Bear maybe next time. Perfect. Okay, again, thank you all. I will do the same time next week, and I'll post about it. Who knows where this channel is going? I'll save a little time next week. If you have any questions, particularly about this channel or like what content you want to see, I have tons of ideas. It's just a matter of me actually filming and doing it. And so, but if you have ideas, I want them. I want ideas. I would love to hear from you more. I've also been toying with the idea of a YouTube channel to do longer form content. It seems like, I know I have lots to say about these books and to dive in. And so, come next week with questions or ideas. I'll have some more questions and ideas. I'm so happy you all are here. And thank you all for the happy birthday wishes. This has been amazing. And so go read, and I will see you all so soon.